With the wonderful morning wishes, we welcome you all back to the 23rd January episode of Civilspedia's Daily Current Affairs Analysis brought to you by Shankar IAS Academy. And hope you are all the subscribers of the channel. If you haven't subscribed it, please do subscribe and hit the bell icon for receiving on-time notification. And here are the list of topics taken for today's discussion. And the first topic is about the overview of undefeated forts of India. And the second topic is about the China's recently approved hydroelectric mega project. And the third topic is about the Statehood Day of Manipur, Meghalya, and Tripura, and also about the formation of northeastern states. And the fourth topic is about the Supreme Court's observation towards the 30% reservation of women in bar association from the mains point of view. And the fifth topic is Prelims Focus, where we discuss important current affairs from the UPSC Prelims point of view. In the first topic of this video, we are about to know some of the invincible forts of India that were never conquered, capsized, or even captured using military actions. And the first such fort that we are about to know is the Janjira Fort of Maharashtra. And here we can see the image of Janjira Fort situated majestically in the Arabian Sea. And about the Janjira Fort, the builder was Malik Amber, and it was built around 16th century. And about its features, it is an island fort, which is a peculiar feature associated with this fort, and it was entirely surrounded by the Arabian Sea, which is also making the fort inaccessible for the enemies to approach or attack. And the other thing is the robust defenses it has. It was equipped with thick walls, concealed cannons, and sea-facing bastions, which makes the fort indestructible as well as undefeatable one. And the other thing is the resource management of this fort, as it has the freshwater source available within the premises of the fort, which can even withstand the aggression that has been made out on the fort for a longer extended period. And what is the result? It was never defeated by Portuguese, Marathas, or British navies who tried to invade this fort and failed, and who are all having the stronghold over that region at that time. And the second fort that we are about to know is about the Mehrangarh Fort of Rajasthan. And here we can see the image of the Mehrangarh Fort situated at the steep hilltop of that region. So about this fort, the builder was Rao Jodha, and it was built around 1459 Common Era. And about its strategic location, it was located at the steep hilltop overlooking the Jodhpur city of Rajasthan. And about its robust defenses, it has massive walls, narrow zigzag entrances, which may be confusing for the invaders to enter. And the other peculiar feature is the architectural ingenuity. So about what is this architectural ingenuity which is associated with this Mehrangarh Fort? It has elevated gates and steep approaches, which can slow the progress of invaders and provide adequate time for tackling the invaders to attack. And what is the result? It has been remained unconquered in any battles. And the third fort that we are about to know is the Jaisalmer Fort of Rajasthan. And here we can see the majesticity of this fort, which was situated over a distributed landmass of that region. And the town may be confusing for enemies. And about this Jaisalmer Fort, the builder was Rawal Jaisal, and it was built around 1156 Common Era. And the strategic location of this fort, it was located in the Thar region, as it is a desert fort, and it was difficult to approach because it was situated in the Thar desert region. And the robust defenses, it has equipped with high walls, multiple gates, which is also a confusing feature associated with the fort defense mechanism, and fortified bastions. And architectural ingenuity of this fort, it has maze-like streets, which is confusing the invaders as well as the enemies for attacking forces. And what is the result? It withstood repeated sieges, never captured by militarily. Even it defended the invasion of Alauddin Khilji, who is a powerful Deccan Sultanate at that time. And the next fort that we are about to know is the Kumbhalgarh Fort. And here we can see the Kumbhalgarh Fort situated at the hilltop. So this Kumbhalgarh Fort is also situated in Rajasthan, and the builder is Rana Kumbha. It was built during the 1458 Common Era. And the strategic location, it was situated in the Aravalli Hills ranges, providing a natural defense for this fort. And its robust defenses is having 36 kilometers long wall and multiple defensive layers, which is a barrier for the enemies to invade. And the resource management of this fort is also very unique, because it fell once due to water scarcity of that region, because it is situated in the Aravalli Hills of that region, may be very dry. So, but it not being conquered or conquered at any time. And what may be the result? It was never taken by direct military assault. So it was not into the hands of enemies using military invasions or the military actions. And moving to the question with reference to the Indian forts that were never conquered, consider the following pairs. And the first is Janjira Fort of Maharashtra, second Mehrangarh Fort of Rajasthan, third Jaisalmer Fort of Gujarat, fourth Kumbhalgarh Fort of Rajasthan. How many of the pairs given above are correctly matched? So they have asked about the correctly matched pairs from the above listed forts. So we can know the Janjira Fort is of Maharashtra, Mehrangarh Fort is from Rajasthan, Kumbhalgarh Fort is situated in Rajasthan. But this Jaisalmer Fort is not situated in Gujarat; it belongs to Rajasthan. So this third only is incorrect. So by eliminating the three, all the other three are correct. So the answer will be option C, 3 only. Yes. With this, we move to the next topic. And coming to the next topic is about the China's recently approved ultra large clean energy hydroelectric mega project, and this ambitious mega project of China that goes beyond the scale of Three Gorges Dam, which was built by China earlier. And in this image, we can see the magnanimity of the Three Gorges Dam, which was situated in the Yangtze River in Hubei province of China. And this recently approved China's mega project is known as the Yarlung Sangbo hydropower project, and this is of a colossal infrastructure, and it contains magnanimous infrastructure capabilities. And this Yarlung Sangbo hydropower project is a Chinese mega dam complex which is being built over the Yarlung Sangbo river in Tibet. And this Yarlung Sangbo river, when it enters the Indian territory, it is known as the Brahmaputra river. And this project is also envisioned as the world's largest hydropower facility when it is completed. And about the details of this project, it has the installed capacity. When it comes to existence, it will be around 60,000 megawatts of electricity can be produced with this hydroelectric project. And it is about 3 times more than the capacity of the Three Gorges Dam, which is around 22,500 megawatts only. And about the annual generation of electricity produced using this Yarlung Sangbo hydropower project, it will be producing around 300 billion kilowatts per hour of electricity annually. And it is also about 3 times higher than the annual output produced by the Three Gorges Dam. And it was estimated to get completed with the costing of around 1.2 trillion yuan, which will be approximately around $167 billion. And it is also comparatively higher or nearly 5 times higher than the cost of Three Gorges Dam construction. And the geographical advantage when it came into existence is that it utilizes the great bend of the Yarlung Sangbo river with the 2000-meter drop, which is also having a specific advantage for generating more amount of electricity over 50 kilometers, which providing exceptional hydropower potential to that project. So this is the origin and the flow of the Brahmaputra river or the Yarlung Sangbo river. and they are planning to utilize the Great Bend or the Big Bend, which is prevailing in this region of the Yarlung Sangbo River. So approximately it will be constructed in this region for utilizing the potential of the flow of water. And what are the expected benefits from the creation of this project? It specifically benefits the energy and climate related activities of the China. That is, it is capable of producing 60,000 megawatts of electricity and around 300 billion kilowatts per kilowatts per hour of electricity annually, and supporting China's net zero goals. As it is an hydroelectric project, the electricity was produced using renewable energy. So it also supports the China's goal to achieve the net zero goal. And what is the economic gain that is being prevailing over this project is that it supports 1.2 trillion yuan of investment for the construction, as well as boosting the GDP through providing employment and the movement of logistic for construction, and also creating large scale employment upon the construction of this project. And the regional and technological growth will also be possible and potential thing for the Chinese development, China's growth, which is major revenue for Tibet, the region of autonomous region of China, and the power supply for artificial intelligence data centers and manufacturing hubs. So this Tibet region is claimed autonomous region territory of China, but it is considered to be the independent region by Indian side. And what are the potential risks associated with this construction of this dam or the hydroelectric project? The first thing or the first risk is the downstream risk associated with the flow of the river. So it will lead to the potential drought over the downflowing side of the river. When it blocks the water that comes to the downstream, it will create the potential drought over that region. And a sudden flood also be possible when the water was opened suddenly. And specifically, it affects the region of India and Bangladesh. And the other risk is the seismic danger, because it is situated in the high seismic zone and the high elevated region. There is a possibility of having destructed under the seismic activities. Specifically, high earthquake zones and landslide vulnerability also be prevailing over that region. And the associated other risk is the ecological loss. It is being a threat to the biodiversity, and it also blocks the sediment flow of that river. And the other risk is the cultural harm. As we discussed, as we know, there is an cultural harm which was earlier prevailing over this Indian territory on the construction of Narmada Dam. So this also creates displacement from the sacred Pimlico region. So the people of this Pimlico region needs to be displaced from that region to construct this dam. And the geopolitical strain also been possible, because the water control of the China over this heightened zone or the top zone will lead to the conflict between India and China. And what are the concerns that are associated with the construction of this hydroelectric power project by China over India? The first thing is the water control, because the flow of water downstreams will be obstructed by the Chinese mega project, and the dry season flow to India may get blocked by about 85%, with China's exercising unilateral upstream control. And associated flood risk is also a potential concern, because sudden release of water from the mega project will lead to the devastating flash floods over Indian territories. And the other risk is the other concern is the seismic and ecological risk. So what is that? The high earthquake vulnerability over that region will eventually affect the Indian territory also. And also loss of nutrition rich sediments will also be blocked by the Chinese mega project. And the strategic pressure, it is located near the disputed area of Arunachal Pradesh with limited data sharing will increase the India's risk. And there is an UPSC previous year question asked in the year of 2024. And the question is, recently the term pumped storage hydropower is actually and appropriately discussed in the context of which of the following? Option A, irrigation of terraced crop fields. Option B, lift irrigation of cereal crops. Option C, long duration energy storage. Option D, rainwater harvesting system. So this answer for this question will be option C. Long duration energy storage is related to this pumped storage hydropower. Let's check. Yes. With this, we move to the next topic. With this news article from the Indian Express, we are about to discuss on the Statehood Day of Manipur, Meghalaya and Tripura, and also about the formation of northeastern states in India. So with this news background, the Statehood Day of Manipur, Meghalaya and Tripura will get observed from the date of 21st January of 1972. Because on this date, the state of Manipur, Meghalaya and Tripura will be accorded with the status of full statehood. And on what basis what legal basis the statehood was accorded to the states? It was on the Northeastern Area Reorganization Act of 1971 and also on the basis of Northeastern Council Act of 1971. And these acts were passed on 30th 30th December of 1971, but only on the 21st December of 1972 it was accorded with the full statehood status. And what was the present composition of northeastern states in India right now is it has 8 states of northeastern states. And what are all? Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim and Tripura. And what is the colonial status before the 1947 period? Assam, Arunachal Pradesh or Northeastern Frontier Agency, Meghalaya, Nagaland and Mizoram are considered to be a part of colonial Assam. And Manipur and Tripura are princely states at that time. And Sikkim is also considered as a protectorate state or protectorate territory with having autonomy. And only on 1975, Sikkim will become the state of India. And here are the map of the northeastern states territory in India. Here we can see Arunachal Pradesh, which will be the easternmost state of India, Assam, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura and Meghalaya, and Sikkim is here. So these 7 states are considered or called as the 7 sister states. But this Sikkim is called as brother state because it was geographically separated by a narrow strip of land known as Siliguri corridor from this 7 sisters. So this 7 sister and brother state. So with respect to the colonial administrative legacy in the northeastern region, we also has to note about the formation before the colonial administration. So British has entry into the northeastern states after the first Anglo-Burmese war, which held between 1824 to 1826. And Assam became a separate province in the year of 1874 after the first Anglo-Burmese war. And what are the key colonial policies imposed on the northeastern states at that time? Was the inner line regulation has been imposed in the year of 1873 in the northeastern territory. And it is imposed for the separation of hill tribes and plain people. And what is the Government of India Act of 1935 take on this northeastern states? It has introduced excluded areas and partially excluded areas to the northeastern territory of India at that time. And it limits the legislative access to the tribal people. And there is also another thing to note from the formation of northeastern states, from the historical point of view is the frontier administration before the independence. So what is this frontier administration? It has established Northeast Frontier Tract in the year of 1914, which is encompassing the territories of Arunachal Pradesh and some parts of Nagaland. And it also functioned as an buffer zone between British India as well as British India and Tibet in China and Burma in Myanmar. Burma is earlier known as Myanmar. Sorry, presently known as Myanmar, earlier known as Burma. And it also has the direct administration in the northeastern frontier administration under the control of Governor of Assam, having control or purview over British rule. And what is the post-independent constitutional arrangement that has been made after the India became an independent territory? So after 1947, 98% of the northeastern borders has been declared as international borders, or it's sharing its border with the international territory. And with respect to the constitutional safeguards, after the independence of India, sixth schedule, that is specifically related to the article of 244 and 275, which having the exclusive purview over the northeastern states, specifically the autonomous district council of that state, and applicable to Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. And Northeastern Frontier Agency has been administered directly by the President of India, and Governor of Assam acted as an agent for the President of India. And reorganization and state formation timeline of the northeastern states in India will be around 1963 is the initial formation of the state, under which the Nagaland became a state after the 1962 war impact between India and China. And in the 1971 Act, which led to the formation of Manipur and Tripura, the state was established in the year of 1972. And Meghalaya was carved out of Assam. It has been created a separate state from the areas separated from Assam. And Mizoram has been declared as union territory, and later it got accorded with the status of statehood. And Northeastern Frontier Agency, it has been accorded with the status of union territory to Arunachal Pradesh, and later it got accorded with the status of state. And in 1987, Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh has been accorded or granted with the status of statehood. And what are the additional facts that needs to be noted for our UPSC prelims is that the Northeastern Council, which is a statutory body under Northeastern Council Act of 1971, and it was headquartered having in Shillong of Meghalaya. And also the inner line permit, which is currently being applicable to the following states. What are all? The Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Mizoram and Manipur, which was recently added in the year of 2019. And moving to the question with reference to the political and administrative evolution of Northeast India, consider the following statement. First statement, Manipur, Meghalaya and Tripura were granted statehood under the Northeastern Areas Reorganization Act of 1971. The sixth schedule of the Constitution provides for autonomous district council in Arunachal Pradesh. Third statement, the inner line regulation was introduced during British rule to restrict access to certain tribal areas. Which of the statements given above are correct? And in this question also they have asked about the correct statement, and the answer for this question will be option B, 1 and 3 only, because the second statement was incorrect. Yes. With this we move to the next topic. This article, Supreme Court seeks report from High Courts on complaints with 30% women reservation in Bar Association. We are about to discuss on the directions issued by the Supreme Court regarding the reservation of women, and also about the complaints report of 30% reservation of women in Bar Association from the broader perspective. So what is the background and context behind this news? The Supreme Court has already issued directions regarding the 30 percentage of reservation that needs to be provided for women representation in Bar Association on 24th March of 2025. And the Supreme Court has mandated a minimum 30 percentage reservation has to be provided for women lawyers as office bearers or either as a executive committee members of that association. And it is also applicable to all districts, talukas and other bar associations of across the India. And in January 21 of 2026, it further orders, the Supreme Court further orders that the Supreme Court has sought the report from the High Courts regarding the complaints report from all the High Courts. And what it triggered is that it has identified the widespread non-compliance of the representation that being provided to the women in bar associations, and especially it was higher in Karnataka. And regarding the directions issued by the Supreme Court on January 2026, the bench which constituted and provided the direction was Chief Justice of India, Mr. Suryakant, and Justice Joymalya Bakshi has issued directions regarding this reservation issue. And it also provide the directions to the Registrar General of all High Courts to collect the association-wise data and also accurate data regarding the reservation that has been provided to the women in judiciary or bar association. And it also has to verify compliance with 30% mandate that has been issued earlier by the Supreme Court on 2025. And where violation has been existing, the Registrar General of High Courts needs to take remedial measures and also ensuring the actual representation at the Bar Association for representation of women. And it also filed complaints report before the Supreme Court upon the compliance with the reservation. And what is the concern that needs to be noted here is that the Supreme Court also take the concern of the reservation of women regarding the non-compliance report is that the election has been conducted ignoring the representation of women. And what are the constitutional and legal basis that get aligned with this issue is that regarding the constitutional provisions, the following articles are getting aligned with this issue is that Article 14, which provides equality before law, it is also at stakes. And Article 15 of 1 and 15 of 3, which is prohibition of discrimination of any kind, and also special provisions needs to be provided for women. It also been under stake because of this non-compliance. And Article 21, which is right to life and right to dignity and meaningful participation, is also being at stake. And Article 39A and Article 39 of D of Directive Principles of State Policy, that is equal opportunity and equal pay, is also being at stake without the compliance of this reservation policy. And what are the judicial principles that has been getting aligned with this issues that it provides only substantive equality and not merely formal equality. And the court has empowered to issue continuing mandamus, which is an important term that needs to be noted because it will be a probable UPSC prelims question of 2026 for ensuring social justice. So why this bar association matters? Because of this institutional role it has. Because this bar association acts as a key stakeholders in justice delivery. Because it has influence over the legal professional norms and access to leadership and mentorship. And low female participation has been observed historically in the bar association, that women constitute only around 15 to 80% of the advocates has been enrolled in the bar association for women. And this is according to the Bar Council of India's estimate. And the leadership roles of women in bar association as well as in judiciary in common will also be in lesser amount. And the gender, it also affects the gender imbalance. in following ways, such as it restricts the career progression and their voice in legal reforms, and it also has the sense of non-inclusivity. It also affects the inclusiveness of judiciary with respect to women reservation in justice ecosystem. And broader gender justice perspective needs to be analyzed. What is that? With regarding the international framework, which is regarding the Convention on Elimination of Discrimination, any all kind of discrimination on women under United Nations Convention, which is equal participation in public institutions. And it also has to take into account the Sustainable Development Goal of 5, which is gender insisting upon the gender equality and leadership participation. And with regarding the Indian judicial trend, the Supreme Court has frequently intervened on the following issues regarding the gender justice, regarding the women in armed forces, which is dealt with the case of permanent commission case. And Supreme Court has also involved in the intervened in the Panchayati Raj reservation and in the recent judicial service representation. And with respect to the governance and accountability dimensions, the role of Registrar General is most viable in ensuring the reservation for women. And it acts as an implementation agency and bridging the gap between judicial mandate and ground level reality. And it also emphasizes on rule of law and institutional accountability and compliance based governance. And what is the significance behind this news that has been issued? The direction provided by the Supreme Court upon the women reservation in Bar Association, it strengthens the gender inclusiveness in legal professional as well as the justice system. And it also has the democratic functioning of Bar Association bodies. And it also enhances representation of women in judiciary and trust in judicial institutions. And what are the suggested way forwards? Uniform election guidelines for Bar Association needs to be undertook, and capacity building measures and mentorship for women lawyers also has to be taken into account. And periodic compliance audits by the high courts also needs to be mandated. And cultural change beyond the numerical quotas will also has to be considered. And moving to the question, judicial intervention increasingly aimed at institutional reform rather than individual relief. In this context, examine the Supreme Court's mandate on 30% reservation of women in Bar Association. Discuss its constitutional basis, significance, and challenges in implementation. And this is a 15 more question we need to answer within 250 words. So please take this question and post your answers in the comment section. We will evaluate and give the feedback in the comment section itself. With this, we move to the Prelims Focus. Coming to the Prelims Focus, and the first topic is about Ramayana, the epic. Recently, a 233-year-old Valmiki Ramayanam was gifted to Ram Katha Museum of Ayodhya. This manuscript was previously loaned to Rashtrapati Bhavan of New Delhi, but now it was permanently gifted to International Ram Katha Museum. And this gifted manuscript was written by Adikavi Valmiki, which is having accompanied with the classical commentary, that is Tattva Deepika by Maheshwara Tirtha. And it is written in Sanskrit language of Devanagari script. And it was dated back to Vikrama Samvat of 1849 and represents a rare preserved textual tradition of Ramayana. And it also contains 5 principal kandas of this epic, that is Balakanda, Aranyakanda, Kishkindakanda, Sundarakanda and Yuddhakanda, reflecting the narratives and philosophical depth of this Itihasa. So the next topic is about the Pax Silica initiative. So what is this initiative? It is a multilateral cooperation framework on semiconductors, critical minerals and artificial intelligence. So it is very important for our UPSC prelims, so kindly note that. And it was led by United States. So they may be asked, this initiative was taken by which of the following countries. So we have to note that. And the primary objective of this initiative is to reduce the coercive dependencies, securing global technologies and artificial intelligence supply chains, and promoting joint investments and protect sensitive technologies and build trusting digital infrastructures. And the signatories of these initiatives are Australia, Greece, Israel, Japan, Qatar, Republic of Korea, Singapore, United Arab Emirates, and United Kingdom. And who are all the participants but not the signatories of this initiative or the framework is Canada, European Union, Netherlands, OECD, and Taiwan. And what about the status of India? India is said to be invited to join this framework or this initiative. So the next topic is about Bharat Electricity Summit of 2026. It is a global conference cum exhibition for the power and electricity sector. And it was about to held from 19th to 22nd March of 2026 at the venue of New Delhi. And the theme for this year will be electrifying growth, empowering sustainability, connecting globally. And the primary objective of conducting the summit is to deliberate on the future of electricity and sustainable energy systems and facilitate cross-sector dialogues, and to strengthen global cooperation, foster strategic partnership. So moving to the question is consider the following statement regarding Pax Silica initiative. The first statement, it is a multilateral framework focused on cooperation in semiconductors, critical minerals, and artificial intelligence. Second statement, the initiative is led by the United States to reduce coercive dependencies in global technology supply chains. Third statement, all participants in Pax Silica initiative are formal signatories to the agreement. Which of the following statements given above are correct? As we discussed earlier, all the signatories are not the formal, all the participants are not the formal signatories of the initiative. So the third statement was incorrect. And the answer for this question will be option A, one only. Yes. With this, we came to the conclusion of this episode. Hope you guys like the video. Please share your positive comments and suggestions in the comment section given below, and share the video to your friends. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and bell icon for receiving prompt notification. Thank you for watching us. Have a great day.